we're starting again. We'll continue where we were left off before. We're on page Dalet Perek Zayin in the middle of the Perek. We're almost finished. However, you start to think about it, and we see that acting excited. It comes from a feeling from inside that wants you to always do more. Right? So he said, so too, from being proactive physically, that brings the spiritual feeling that you want to do more. So it means someone who's doing a mitzvah, just like he's physically moving his outward body to do the mitzvah. He says, the internal, your neshama also gets affected by those physical actions when you're doing a mitzvah. The desire to continue to do that grows. If you're lazy, right, when you're doing, you're not running to do the mitzvah. So you internally also tishgat v'tichbe, you're going to put to sleep that internal desire to do the mitzvah also. So your internal is going to mirror the external. He says, if you don't believe me, try it and test it out. You'll see that trying this, being excited when you're doing the mitzvah actively, will make you feel better inside. Right? Also, we've said before, we actually learned it before, that what's more desired by Hashem, who chayfetz halev u'chukat neshama, right? The desire, the internal. Hashem wants us to do the mitzvot out of love, out of desire to do it. U'chukat neshama, the desire of your neshama to do the mitzvot is more important, and therefore the way to get to that, he's telling you, is to externally act in a way that you're excited to do the mitzvot. This is what David HaMelech talks about in many different psukim, and he brings a bunch of examples of psukim that David HaMelech is talking about the internal excitement of doing the mitzvah. Ka'ayal ta'arog alafi kemayim kenashi ta'arog elecha Elohim. Like an ayal. Ayal is a deer, or a hart, the type of a deer. Ta'arog alafi kemayim, the way that it runs towards the water, then to get some drinks. Ken nafshi, so too my neshama ta'arog elecha Elohim, my neshama should run to you. Same'ah nafshi Elohim, my nefesh is thirsty for God. Another example of the pasuk. Nichsecha v'gam kalata nafshi lahatzrot Adonai. So desire, my neshama, my nafshi, nichsecha v'gam talsi, strong desires lahatzrot, the hatzer, the courtyards of Hashem. Same'ah lecha nafshi, again, my neshama is thirsty for you. Kama lecha besari, I desire, my flesh desires you, Hashem. Ve'ulam, all these psukim about David are talking about how he's asking Hashem to connect him to Hashem, to do the mitzvot. He wants to show that he's desiring, he's running to do the mitzvot. He's someone who doesn't have that internal desire burning properly. I'll give you good advice. She is darez b'ritzono. You should, activate your desire to do the mitzvot by wanting to do it. You need to train your body, right, which we have control over, to do the mitzvot, and that will internally trigger the neshama to have its desire, and then it becomes like a ball rolling down. Once you have the momentum going, so your body does the mitzvah, your neshama wants it. Your neshama wants more, so it causes your body to do more, and your body does more, so neshama wants it more, and it keeps on rolling and rolling and rolling. You start to grow. He says, you want it to become natural for yourself. The actions that you move, your movements, your external movements, it wakes up the internal. Right? For sure, the one that we have control over is our bodies, the external forces, things that we need to do, to get up early in the morning to go to learn, to get up to go to shul, to get up when it's time to pray, go pray. When it's time to open a book, whatever mitzvah, put your hand in your pocket and pull out the money to give tzedakah. So all those are external actions that will affect your internal neshama. And the one that we have control over is the external. If you use the tools of the things that you do have control of, your body, you will be able to acquire even that which is not in your control. Why? What's going to happen is you're going to have simha penimit. By doing the external mitzvot, you're going to have internal pleasures, internal happiness. Right? This desire, this enjoyment is coming from mashu mitlahet betnuato beratzon. The fact that I am moving my body with my desire, I'm doing the actions physically, brings me internal simha, and that will continue to grow. It keeps pushing it down the mountain, rolling, like the snowball effect, right? V'huma shayah navi omer, pasuk from Yesharim, v'nede'a v'nirdefa, we should know, we should run after, lada'at et Hashem. We want to run after, to learn what Hashem is all about. V'chatuv, acharei Hashem, yilchu ka'aryeh yish'ag. After Hashem, right? We should run after Hashem the way like the lion is roaring. Okay? End of Perek Zayin, Mabruk. We're making some nice progress. Perek Hayt. So we've been talking about zirizut, being proactive, being excited to do mitzvot. He's going to tell us now how to acquire this midah of being zariz. Hine, he says, right? The ways in which we can acquire being excited and proactive and doing mitzvot is hem otam asher nikne bam hazehirut. They are the same for the ones that we described when we were talking about being very careful in your actions. Same the traits that I would need to be proactive in my actions. The same steps that you need to acquire zehirut is the same you acquire zehirut, because we'll see in a minute that they're just the polar opposites of each other. They're very near each other. Why? Okay? Zehirut, being careful, is what we apply to the mitzvot lo ta'aseh. Don't transgress the mitzvah. Be careful, don't do X. Be careful with all your actions, lest you transgress X, whatever that mitzvah would be, that lo ta'aseh. So that's zehirut. Zirizut is what we apply to the mitzvot aseh, the mitzvot that you are supposed to be doing. Get up and be proactive to go fulfill the mitzvah. So the acquisition of these two character traits, says that Ramchal, are the same. He's going to bring this to remind us what they are. If you want, in the meantime, maybe we'll just look at the bottom and we'll remind ourselves on the bottom. So look at this. He says, Hainu al derech klal, in general, limud Torah, learning the Torah, al derech haprat, being more particular, it's v'hitbonanta al homer ha'avodah shehaya b'ha'adam ve'omek din aleha. Right? You think about the serious, requirements of following the paths of Hashem that we're obligated in, and what the punishment, the Omek Hadin, would be in such a scenario when we're not following what we're supposed to be doing. Reading into the psukim, learning the halachot, right? The statements of our rabbis that will guide us along this path. Right, that's the intro, and we'll see it. He's going to bring it up again in a minute, but just in case we were wondering what he was talking about over here, the same things that we need to do in order to prevent the transgressions of lo ta'aseh is what we need to do to continue to do the mitzvot aseh. So zehirut, being careful for the mitzvot lo ta'aseh, the zirizut for the mitzvot aseh. He's telling you Torah, musar, sifrei Chazal, those type of things. And then think about Omek Hadin, what would be if we're not going to follow what we're supposed to be doing. Okay. So he says, we did this. Once we realize the truth, right, by Godel Erech HaMitzvot, the great worth of the mitzvot, Verov Chovato Bahem, and the abundant requirement that we have to fulfill the mitzvot, for sure, he's going to soften, he's going to wake up his heart, and he won't be lax in fulfillment of the mitzvot. However, he says, what will cause me to increase, right, this excitement of this feeling to do the proper thing? You want to start to feel, that we really need to behave properly. Think about all the beautiful things that Hashem does for us every minute of every day. Right? The wondrous events. From the time that we were born, if we close our eyes and remember back to all the things that we've been through in our lives, and we're still here, still going strong, Baruch Hashem. And every day, Hashem b'chol yom mechadesh tovo b'chol yom tamid ma'aseh bereshit. Right? Hashem is in every day reinventing the world for us. Okay, everything is going Baruch Hashem. Right? Thank God, and He's going to give you examples. So He says, "She'oseh imo be'et haleda ad hayom ha'acharon ki chol ma sheyarbe lehistakel ulitbonin b'dvarim elu." The more we think about these things, right? Hinei yarbe. It comes out, you'll see, l'hakir la'atzmo chova rabba, right? We're going to recognize how much we actually owe Hashem, el ha'metivlo, all the beautiful things that Hashem does for us every minute of every day. So of course we don't want to be kfui tova, right? Nobody wants to spurn all the beauty and all the good things that Hashem is giving us and say, it's irrelevant. It means nothing. Chas v'shalom, right? These are the pathways in which we can say we won't be lazy. It'll help you to not be lazy or to weaken our avodah. Why? There's no way we can repay God, right, for all the wondrous things that He's done for us. It's impossible, right? So what do? Lefachot, the least I can do in order to show thanks. Yodeh lishmo, admit or praise Hashem, v'yikayem mitzvotav, keep the mitzvot. That's the least we can do for all the wondrous things that Hashem is doing for us. V'hineh. So let me tell you, en lecha adam, there's nobody on earth, right? Be'ezeh matzav she'imatzeh, it doesn't matter what his personal scenario is at this particular time. Im ani, im ashir, he's rich, he's poor, right? Im bari, he's healthy, holeh, lo aleinu, the other way, shelo yir'eh niflaot v'tovot rabot b'matzavo. That it's impossible, doesn't matter who you are or what your circumstances are, that you would not be able to recognize the beauty of all that Hashem has been doing for us. Why? It says, ki ha'ashir v'habari, those are easy. A person who's wealthy and a person who's healthy, so pashut that he should be thankful. Nothing to talk about. So you should feel that you need to do something for Hashem in return. And therefore, we can't repay Him for everything He's given us. At least we should be able to listen to the mitzvot. Ha'ani hayavlo, right? What about the ani? Hayavlo sha'afilu be'onyo, even though he's poor in his scenario that he's in, still nevertheless, mamsilo parnasato derech nes vafele. Somehow, he's got something to eat. Ve'eno manichol amut bara'av. Okay? He's not going to die in starvation. Somebody's going to give tzedakah. Someone's going to take care of them. Somewhere along the way, it may be difficult to be an ani, but he isn't dead. Okay, and he's got food to eat. He's got something to drink. He's got a roof over his head. Okay, and therefore thankful to Hashem. Ha'choleh, someone who's lo aleinu, not feeling well. Al shemahaziko bechobed holyo, that Hashem is still holding him up. Ubimakotav, even though he's sick. And he's got suffering, he's got pains. He's still alive. He isn't in the grave. And therefore, if you're still kicking, you still have what to do in this world. All anything similar to this, ad comes out. There is nobody that can say, I don't owe God anything. Nobody. When we look at all these wonderful things that God is giving us, Vadai, for sure, it will want you, it will wake you up to want to go to worship God. Like I mentioned earlier, Kol Sheken, for sure, if you think, that everything, all the beauty, right? All the beauty that you have is dependent on God, and therefore, of course, you want to do what you can. Okay, everything that you need, everything that you want. No one else can give you what you need. No one else can give you what you want. Al ken vadai and therefore it will come out. There is no way, if you think about this and you really internalize these messages, there's no way that you're going to be lazy when it comes to doing avodat Hashem. And you will therefore not be lacking in anything that you need. Sorry. There we go. You see here, שכללתי פה בדבריי שלושת המדרגות אשר חלקתים בזהירות. You'll see that I just broke up this again the ways in which to acquire zirizut to the same ways that I've broken it up prior in zehirut. Why? כי כבר עניינם אחד. I already told you that they're really the same, right? One is just the lo ta'asez and one is the asez. והדבר למד מעניינו. You learn one from the other. Why? שלשלמי הדעת, those that are right in their right minds, people that are understand what they're doing in this world and that they have a mission to fulfill. תהיה ההראה מצד חובה, right? What wakes them up to be zariz is the feeling of obligation. מצד ערך המעשים וחשיבותם, because of the value of the actions of the mitzvot and their importance, so you feel an obligation to fulfill them. So those are the people that are thinking in their right minds, that are paying attention to what life is about, and therefore for them, they're feeling like, okay, this is really important. I need to dedicate time that God has given me to fulfill this mission of mine that I'm here for. And therefore, if that's including keeping all the mitzvot and learning Torah and everything that's required of a good Jew. מצד החובה ומצד הערך והמעשים וחשיבותם. לפחותים, right, the next level down, someone that's not that high up, right, as far as they're thinking, they're not thinking big picture, whole life, long-term type of thinking. They're just, more in the moment type of thing. So מצד העולם הבא וכבודו שלא תשיגהו בושה ליום הגמול. בראותו הטובה שהיה יכול להשיג ואיבדה. That's the guy that's going to feel like, oh my God, I wasted my time. When he gets to Olam Haba and he sees what he could have attained, and he's going to have that feeling of regret that he wasted his time in this world. That negative feeling of, oh my God, what did I do? That should be the motivation for him to follow the mitzvah. So that's somebody a little bit less. The first person is doing it out of, okay, great. I know this is the right thing to do. This is where I want my life to go. And therefore, after 120, when I get up to Shamayim, I can say I was on the right path and I did the things I was supposed to do. The other guy is more from a negative perspective. Oh my God, I don't want to get there and have embarrassment. I'd rather take care of this now, not because he's excited to do it, but because he's more, worried about the penalties in the future. Okay, so he says that, and he would lose his potential location in Olam Haba by not fulfilling, his task in this world. The lehamon, everybody else after these two categories, mitzad haolam hazeh utzorechav, right? Tell the guy, hey, you do good, you get good. You get good in this world too. You want Hashem to take care of things for you. You want the life to be comfortable. You want things to go well. You got to give your time to what Hashem wants you to do. The time that He gave you is all His. You're only here because He wants you to be here. And if you're here, you have something to do. If you're not doing it, so then you don't need to be here. So you want to keep living, better make sure you do what you're doing. That's what he means by this. Like I explained earlier. Okay, so we're moving along. Baruch Hashem, getting there. Mafsideh hazirizut ve'harhaka mehem, things that can cause you, right, to weaken your excitement to do the mitzvot, and how to stay away from those things. Hine, mafsideh hazirizut, him magdileh ha'atzala. He says the same things that cause you to be lazy, those are the ones that are causing you, obviously, to stop being zariz, to being active and excited. Okay? Because they're the opposite of each other, right? If I'm lazy, so then I'm not zariz. If I'm zariz, I'm not lazy. So whatever increases laziness is what is going to also cause you to lose the characteristic of zirizut. V'hagadol shebahim, the number one, right? The top 10 answers on the board. The number one answer, bakashat menucha hagufanit v'sinat hatorach v'ha'avat ha'idunim betashlum kol tana'ihim. Wanting to rest your body and to hate sinat hatorach, to hate, to labor and ahavat idunim, when you love to be pampered, right? And you want to be v'tashlum kol tanayim, you want to be as pampered as possible. Those are what causes you to lose zirisut, right? So want to be resting, sleeping. I don't want to get up. I'm lazy. I don't want to go. I'm comfortable where I am. This chair is really comfy. I don't want to get up and go to shul. I'm under the covers. I'm best sleep. That's what's going to get you. Adam kazeh, this type of person, this guy who's in love with being pampered and having a massage and chilling all day. And again, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just that if that's the main goal, right? You need to rest and you need to relax in order to be able to continue to do avodat Hashem. But if all you're waiting all the time is all you want is to be lazy and tired, and that's what we're talking about over here. And therefore he says, for sure that guy is not going to want to do anything. And it doesn't literally mean eat over here, but a person who wants to enjoy and everything, wants to do it with calm and peaceful, and everything should be good. I need to sleep, right? I can only go at exactly the right time. It's going to be very hard to go to shul in the morning if the guy needs 14 hours of sleep, and it's a little bit too cold outside, or it was raining, or I don't know, right? But I gotta have breakfast, and I gotta get dressed, and I have to read the newspaper. Or a person who has to pray in the afternoon but is in the middle of lunch. He's not going to be able to. He's not going to want to stop to go pray. Or let's say lidvar mitzvah. Right? Oh, I got to go to SPH meeting tonight, but it's a little too cold. I don't really want to go. Kol sheken lemaher atzmo lidvar mitzvah, or the Talmud Torah for sure. Right? He's not going to want to go to learn Torah or do mitzvah. Umisha margil atzmo leminhagot ha'ele, guy who accustomed his body to this pampered type of style. Eno adon ba'atzmo la'asot ha'hefech ze keshirtzeh. You lose your power over yourself. You've become a slave to the comfort, and you lose. You're not the master of yourself anymore. Ki kvar ne'esar retzono b'ma'asah ha'hegel. You've tied yourself up with this, this what you've come accustomed to. Hanasa teva sheni, it becomes like second nature for you, and now you're stuck because now you got to fight yourself. Ve'omnam, person should know. Tzarich she'eda adam ki lo limnucha hu ba'olam hazeh ela la'amal b'torah. Person was not put in this world to rest. You were here to work, to put in effort. You should work. You should act the way that workers do. Salaried workers, hourly workers. They're doing work for those that hire them. I'm a day worker. I'm a day laborer, right? Like those that go out to battle and when they go out to the field, to the battlefield. When they need to eat, what are they doing? Rushing. Ushnatam, when they need to take a nap. Arai, v'omdim, standing up in the corner, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Tamid muchanim le'et krav, they have to be ready for the battle. Ve'al ze ne'emar ki adam la'amal yulat. Pasuk from Eov, that person was born to work, to toil. When you've trained yourself now to do this, to not be lazy, then for sure, right, doing the mitzvot and keeping the Torah becomes second nature. That becomes your second nature. As opposed to developing the habit of becoming lazy, you've developed the habit of keeping mitzvot, of not being lazy. Because he prepared himself for this. That's what the rabbis say. You want to know, it's a Masechet Avot. This is the path of the Torah. Pat b'melach tochal, you eat some bread with some salt. Mayim b'mesura tishteh, you drink or small Mesurah is a measurement, a small amount of water. Ve'ala aretz tishan. You sleep on the ground. Okay, there's no pampering over here. A piece of bread, some water, and the ground. That's it. That's what you need to survive. This is as far as you can get from resting and from a pampered style. Right? And that's what they're calling kachi darka shel Torah. Right? That this is the way that the Torah, to acquire Torah. So obviously it's a little bit extreme for our purposes nowadays. Nobody's sleeping on the ground. Everyone has a pillow, Baruch Hashem, and a bed, right? And bread and salt. We have, thank God, much more than that. And water, Baruch Hashem. Thank God you turn on the faucet, there's water. So we're already beyond the smallest amount, and we need to really train ourselves to look at this statement and understand, what does it mean for us? For us, it doesn't mean sleep on the ground. It means don't sleep as long as you are. Right? You could sleep in your bed. Don't eat as much as you are. All right? You eat what you need. And drink what you can drink.
Rabbi.
Yes.
I read in the book once. The guy wrote that your bed is your best friend and your enemy.
Yeah.
So when you go to sleep, you need it to rest.
Exactly.
When you wake up, it's your enemy to get up.
Perfect. Exactly. So emet, perfect. It's so true, right? It's your best friend because if you're using your sleep for the right purpose, I need to sleep because I can't go to shul tomorrow. I can't pray. I'm going to be a zombie. I have to sleep. So I need him. He's my best friend. But then I also need to get up at the right time, right? And if I don't, because now I love what I'm doing, I'm very comfortable, and that you get the cozy feeling now. It's getting cold outside, and you're under the covers in the morning. You don't want to get up. 100%, that's your enemy. 100%. Od mafsideh hazirizut. Actually, maybe we'll just stop here. When it's 2:00, we'll stop. We'll continue over here next week. Be'ezat Hashem. Thank you, El, for coming, and have a beautiful day.